Today we're going to talk about some patterns that we might notice in numbers, and as our numbers get bigger, the patterns are still there. But sometimes it's hard to see them or hard to remember them when we're talking about three-digit numbers especially. So let's just look at the following numbers and see what they mean and what we notice about the patterns. So let's just start with the number 3. Okay, when we talk about 3, 3 of anything, we have to think about if we're talking about ones, tens, or hundreds. 3 is pretty simple. We know that 3 represents 3 individual things, 3 ones. We could draw a picture of the number 3 to show that it's just 3 ones like this. Now let's think about what happens with this number. 13. How is it different than a 3? It has a 3 in it, but it also has a 1 over here. What is that 1? Is it just a number 1? Does it also mean just one thing? If we draw a picture of 13, that can help us decide what that 1 means. A math picture of number 13 looks like this. We drew this. In fact, I'm even going to draw it like this so we can see that it's a stick. We know that the number 13, when we make a picture, it's got a 10 in it. This digit right here is telling me how many tens it has. It's telling me it has 1 10. This is the digit. This is the picture for a 10. So 3 is just 3 ones. 13 has a 10, but it also has those 3 ones in it too. But we added a 10. Let's take a look at this number. 30. What does the number 30 mean? Actually, let's change that to that number, 33. Now we see that this same spot tells us about tens, except this time we're talking about more than just 1 10. We're talking about 3 tens. So our math picture needs to show those 3 tens. But we still have 3 ones. If we keep going in our numbers, we could go all the way up to 43, 53, 63. We'd still have the same picture for the ones column. They all have 3s. What's changing is the tens. Let's look at this number. If we have the number 5, we know it's talking about just ones. So we have 5 individual items. If we're talking about 15, it still has those 5 items in it, but the word teen tells us that it also has a 10. How many tens does it have? 1 10. To draw this picture, I would show the 1 10 and then the 5 ones. Now let's look at the next number, 50. 50 has 0 ones and 5 tens. No ones. So the patterns we see is that as we add more tens to a number, it changes the number, but sometimes the ones will still stay. If I wanted to change this number to 55, I changed my tens, but I still have my 5 ones. Patterns within our number system can help us understand how the system builds, how the numbers get bigger. That will help us understand and compare numbers to understand which values are greater and which values are less than. It will also help us figure out what numbers come between a range of numbers. So if we're talking about a range, we know that 3 is between 0 and 10 because it doesn't have any 10s in it. So we know it is between 0 and 10 on a number line. 13 has a 10. So if it has a 10, it is between 10 and 20 on a number line. 33 has 3 10s. We know that 3 10s is the same as 30. So we know that it's got those 3 10s, so 33 must be between 30 and 40 on a number line. It's really important to be able to understand what numbers are made up of so we can compare them and get kind of a picture in our mind of where they are in number order on the big scale of numbers. Numbers going all the way up to 100 and even past 100.